Arsenal fans, where you at? It's a very huge confirmation coming in through from the Mirror. Though not one of the credible sources, but I can tell you, sometimes, almost times, they really get it right. I can really reminisce when Erik ten Hag was coming to Manchester United. They are the people that really came in close to obviously giving us what we call accurate information as far as Erik ten Hag to Manchester United was concerned. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. This is the Football News Show as Arsenal rumored to be leading the Mike Olise transfer race this summer transfer window. Allegri has gone ahead to make a huge demand to the side of Juventus. I don't know whether Juventus will obviously meet it up because of the problems they're really having in there, really financially. And lastly, we are going to talk about Carlo Ancelotti. Shocking announcement from Carlo Ancelotti that most of us never saw coming. So let's see, close to 400 likes. Smash on this video. It's a Tuesday and it's the 28th of May 2024. So we are geared up and we're here to bring you the first video of the day. Though in the wee hours of the night we brought you a story about Guendouzi, and I think you're going to enjoy it. And the new manager of Chelsea, who is said to be announced very, very soon. We thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims, Barakallahu fikum, and may the living to God bless you abundantly. Now, let's start it off with the man known as Mark Maston, who is really a football writer at the Gravy Media, and he came in through and talked it about the TBR football via the Mirror. He said, Arsenal are set to have the edge in the race for Crystal Palace winger Mike Olise. The Frenchman is attracting interest from Manchester United, Liverpool, Chelsea and Newcastle United ahead of the summer transfer window. Olise is expected to cost around 60 to 65 million pounds, and the Gunners lead the race, with the draw of Champions League football expected to play a huge factor. Obviously, this is what is coming in through from the Mirror, and they're saying Arsenal is leading the race. Now, if you are a novice to this channel, I think it's the only you who doesn't know that Arsenal has been showing interest into Michael Olise towards the start or the commence of this summer transfer window. Arsenal have always wanted to bring in a player who is going to be doing that role of Bukayo Saka and competing with him, because if you need to take Bukayo Saka to the next level, you need to get in an Olise, and they are all in the same age, 22 years of age, though making 23 I think this year. And I tell you what, it's really going to be a highly competitive side. Olise's starts this season have been really amazing, though he has gone ahead to have very many injuries that I've seen him play 18 games less than those he played last season for Crystal Palace. Last season he played 37 games, 2 goals and 11 assists, and this season he has gone here to play 19 games, 10 goals and 6 assists. That is Mike Olise for you. So Arsenal are really seriously interested in this guy and they want to sign him. That is it. But it will depend onto the budget they are willing to offer to Crystal Palace. And this is what we call a release clause. It's not that they are going to negotiate it down. It's between 60 to 65 million pounds in there for you. And that really puts Arsenal into a race to sign 2 players whose release clause is really known. For Guimaraes, it's 100 million pounds. For Olise, it's 60 to 65 million pounds. Now, it's Arsenal to choose whether to spend 165 million pounds onto 2 players. But I think it will be a repetition of the first 2 signings that Arsenal made last summer, if at all they go ahead to sign these 2 players first at Arsenal. Remember last season, they went in for Kai Havertz first for 67 million pounds, and then they ended up calling in for Declan Rice 105 million pounds. That took that to 172 million pounds. Now, Arsenal has all what it takes to do these transfers, but I know Ed was going to have to put out statements that I'm going to really come in here and really do in the next video on how their plan for the summer transfer window is. So, Olise to Arsenal is really a hot one, and I tell you, it's one of those transfers that Arsenal are really going to be looking at. But will they beat the competition off coming in from Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Newcastle? You know, when you look at teams like Manchester United, Chelsea, and Newcastle, they are not in the Champions League. You know, Arsenal and Liverpool and Man City are the only teams in the Champions League. And I think this is where the race gets interesting. And you see who is who in this. That is where we get interesting. Because if you are an Olise, where would you want to go? Where would you want to go? I think at the age of 22, you'd love to go to a team that is going to get you ample playing time. I know Champions League is going to be a huge factor, but he would love to go to a team that is going to obviously show him that you are going to have a priority to the starting 11. And is he going to have that at Arsenal? Not really. That is Bukayo Saka's number. He'll have to come in through and really outplay Bukayo Saka to see to it that he gets in the starting 11 of Arsenal. Like you saw Trossard came in through and outplayed the side of Martinelli, you know. But if you are a player with a big heart, you can obviously say, Arsenal, I'm coming there. I know Bukayo Saka is your favorite star boy, but with what I'm gonna offer, I tell you, Arteta will feel ashamed on who to start and who not to start. And Arteta is always gonna hate to like that in his squad, because he knows it that if players are competing at the same wavelength, he will obviously get the best out of the best of those players. That is it. So when you go to Man City, I think Man City need a player like Olise, and he'll get straight into the starting 11 of Man City, as Arteta sees Foden as a player who can play into the midfield to replace Kevin De Bruyne. And Kevin De Bruyne is like wanting to go out, meaning that Olise will get straight into the team of Man City. And Man City have lacked a player of the quality of Olise off the right attacking side of the midfield ever since they lost the one and only Riyad Mahrez. Liverpool, unless Mohamed Salah is sold. If Salah is there, there is no way Olise is going to be played ahead of Mohamed Salah. That is it. Salah is like the king of Anfield, and there is no way you come to bench the king of Anfield, and his delivery is really great. And I think when Olise comes in through, then Salah will get to know that, all right, it's not a joke. So for Manchester United, there is Amadi Diallo, there is Anthony. I think can have an edge to get into there for you. Chelsea, I think it's hard. There is Nuno Madueke, there is Carl Palmer, and unless otherwise, they're going to play Carl Palmer as a central attack midfielder and then take him that side. But remember last season, he rejected that team. So wait and see how that pans out. But Olise is a player that Arsenal is of interest in, and we want to see how that pans out for Olise. But he's a very good and talented player. I tell you that you'll obviously want to have in your team. The question is, the injuries that he has gone to have this season, back and forth, that have gone to affect his season, what are they going to be saying about it? That is really a very huge question for many to be asked and to be answered. I really understand the player has been having injuries, but in the previous seasons, he has not gone ahead to be having these injuries, because he played for Crystal Palace in 2021, 2022. He played 26 games, and 2022, 2023, his second season scored 37 games, meaning that the injuries are going to have this season, or the recently concluded season, and not all that a concern for teams like Arsenal, because they know they can come in through and obviously find a solution to that, you know. So that is Arsenal leading the Mike Olise transfer race, and I'm calling in for your reactions onto that. The manager has come out and spoken about the duo that is expected to leave the side of Crystal Palace, known as Oliver Glasner. He said, I'm very confident Olise and Eze will be here because they have contracts and no one has told me they will be leaving. I think what we have done is that we have shown them that Crystal Palace have the ambition. We have shown them now we want to play with path. So we want to play which path we want to go down, which journey we want to ride together. They can show their strength, qualities, and personalities and express themselves here. And I know, what can you say if at all you are the manager? When two of your players are really wanted, all you have to do is to put in such statements that your team is not willing to sell, such that your people that you feel like are really coming at you, at your players, get you the amount of money that you want. Ebeleche Eze, for me, and Olise are the spine of this team. That is it. They are the spine for this team of Crystal Palace. Add on Gehi. You know, if you put on Gehi, those three are really the superstars, and all those three might be leaving Crystal Palace, and Crystal Palace might find themselves back close to £200 million from the sale of those two players. And I think that will be some huge money for them, because for them, they just go out and really get in players on a cheap. £200 million, three players sold, they can get off like £60 million, get in players for like £20 million each, and replace them with these ones, and obviously they'll get a better way. And this coach coming in from Germany, I think can get better and better players. If they can get in players on loan, to see to it that they obviously make what we call a perfect fill into that side. You understand? So we wait and see how that pans out. But Arsenal Olise deal is one of those that you have to keep a lot of attention to detail too. Now, we all know that Allegri was sacked at Juventus and he was replaced with Thiago Motta. Now, the situation there is really not yet settled, because Allegri is like, you've sacked me, you've not yet let me go, I need my compensation as it's written down into the contract. And we are having the Bianconero, and you know, the Bianconero is like a very huge close source to the side of Juventus via the La Gazzetta dello Sport. They've told us that Allegri has asked for 14 million euros to immediately terminate his contract with Juventus. The club rejected his proposal. Now, this is where sacking managers comes costly. You know, if you are sacking a manager like Allegri, who had a very huge clause of sacking him, or compensation clause, then you need to look through on what he's really gonna cost, because I know what is gonna hit obviously take his clause of sacking him to that level. It's because he's in the Champions League. If he hadn't gone ahead to take them into Europe, it would have gone ahead to be a different scenario altogether. But having gone ahead to take them into Europe, especially the Champions League, that's why his sacking compensation fee has gone ahead to rise to that level, you know. And I tell you what, it's really one of those moments that you'll obviously have to look at and look through and really understand that these managers make money, you know. And it's the same thing that Manchester United is going in through, that Erik ten Hag's sacking compensation fee would be around £10 million if at all Man United were not in Europe. But the moment United go to Europe, it can rise even to £20 million. And I think that's what Allegri is really basing on to obviously question the side of Juventus, that please get me my money and I leave, because you are keeping me as hostage here. How much you're paying me my salary, but I want to go out. I want out, totally out of this team. You've brought in my successor. I've gone ahead to accept. I no longer mean anything to you. Why are you keeping me here? That is Allegri for you. And I think he's really having a very huge point in what he's really saying. Not so? So wait and see how that pans out. But Allegri is really going to be one of those managers to be looked at, because very many teams right now are looking for managers. And I'm looking at the recruitment of teams like Liverpool, Chelsea, and very many others. They might really borrow the assistance or need the assistance of Allegri. They might need it, because Allegri has been one of those managers that is really historical and he knows exactly what to do. He has been at Juventus, and I think he might be looking this time around to look out. Even Bayern Munich went ahead to bring in Vincent Kompany. You understand? So if at all you get in Vincent Kompany, you just have to really get to understand that it might get to the next level of being ugly in there for you. So that is it for Allegri. Let's wait and see whether Juventus is going to obviously compensate him, because Juventus is really going through what we call financial problems, and I don't know how they're really going to do it. Are they going to wait and see how it goes on like Bayern did until when the Germany Football Federation came in through and obviously signed Nagelsmann? They keep you on the salary, but they keep having you under their surveillance, such that for anyone who comes in through to sign you, he has to pay them and really see to it that they use that amount of money to compensate you as you leave in there for you, because every manager has a release clause in his contract if at all it's signed. Lastly, Carlo Ancelotti is going to hit to throw in a shocker. He has announced that he will retire at Real Madrid. He won't join any other club or national team. So I know why I was going to hit to make this. if you're in the Champions League final this year, and you're most likely to win it, you're expecting Kylian Mbappe and Endrick to join you next season. You are like, all right, mates, all is done and dusted. I tell you, I'm gonna really win big at Real Madrid. Adding in 2 good players, that is really gonna be a very huge shift for the club of Real Madrid. And he knows that this team is gonna be one of the best in the next 3-4 years, and he might really scope 2 Champions Leagues, and I think he'll be the all-time manager to win the Champions League as he is, and he wants, I think he wants to leave after setting the bar so high. That is what Carlo Ancelotti is all about as a manager. So wait and see how that pans out. But I was going to hit to make an announcement that after Real Madrid, he'll retire. But I know he'll retire and go into sabbatical. But there might be a USD that will obviously get him out of the sabbatical to see to it that he gets up and running again into his managerial career in football. And it's going to be Mr. Fathol. He retires very, very soon. So guys, I call upon for your reactions into the comment section below about Arsenal leading Olise transfer race. What do you make about it? Then Allegri calling in for a 14 million euro compensation from Juventus, and Juventus is like, oh my, why are you calling in for that? And Allegri is like, I took you to the Champions League. You're going to be playing in the Champions League. Can you please compensate me my money? And Carlo Ancelotti has said he's ending his career of managing football at Real Madrid. We thank God for the gift of life. The Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum. 400 likes on this video, and continue to subscribe because we want to hit 22,000 subscribers, and we've already gone ahead to hit 21,200 subscribers. Let's go to 21,300 subscribers before the end of today. First video of the day. More is yet to come. We've gone ahead to come in late, but I tell you, the action is going to be packed like usual. Ciao, ciao. Bless you. Bye-bye.